Whoa, and happy Friday, Scrap Masters, quilt makers, friends, and family. Are you ready to see what happens on week 33 of Scrap Masters, where we randomly roll and spin our way to a super cool quilt block? I certainly am. Let's get started. And welcome back to So Well with Rob Appell. It is so great to see all of you out there. This is Scrap Masters, our weekly random roll and spin quilt block series. And maybe you've noticed I've kind of redecorated the set. That is right. We've got a new quilt all completed. This is the Black Magic, I think I'm going to call it. And it's super cool if you ask me, but I made the darn thing. This contains blocks from Series 1 and Series 2. You saw a lot of previews of it over the last few weeks. And I literally just put the binding on a few moments ago, hung it up so that I could shoot today's quilt show. I'm super excited, super blessed. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you are chatting along with us if it is Friday between 2 p.m. Pacific and I should say 5 p.m. Eastern and about 2:30ish or so. It takes about 30 minutes for the show. We will roll and spin our way to a quilt block here in a moment, letting you know I have a few of the bundles left from the new and newest worlds. And I also still, like I said, encouraging everybody to pick up their very own Scrap Masters official game spinner and die set so that you can do your own blocks at your own time like I did here and have a ton of fun with that. Super exciting. New t-shirts available, the original Rob Appell design, and So Well in green, So Well in gray, and I cannot wait for the new Black Scrap Master shirts to show up. Pocket logo, big square on the back, and my goodness, hopefully I will be in for one for next week's show. We are on week 33. The quilt here you see behind me took 35 blocks, so that's what we're shooting for here. We're just a few blocks away. And last week, real quick here, we did create this block, and originally during the show I was talking about how I had already had 4 of them made, and I'd kind of been focused on what this might do for myself. Fun little point out here, I also made therefore 4 for this one to see what I ended up doing. And you can see I kind of split them up. I showed photos of several different layouts to my friends a few weeks ago. And this was referred to as predictable, as I would assume it would be. So I might still do different things, but you can see the way it's fun to play off of this and do different color movement. So we'll see what happens here. I have 3 more weeks to go, so I don't really know. Maybe we'll get a 6th version of block 3. So pretty exciting. I certainly think it turned out beautiful last week. If you're new here, what we do is we take this series of dice and color wheel and we spin our way through a free pattern to make these wonderful quilt blocks as a reason to have something to do when we don't know what to do with ourselves as quilters, as a, what do I want to say? Sometimes I get anxious trying to decide what to do between the big quilt projects. And so therefore I like to have something I can just kind of work on periodically. So this has kind of been my shtick for about a year and I'm loving it. Let's see what we do today. 6-sided die will tell us which block we are on. Here we go. I couldn't plan it better myself, really. Block 3. Okay, and that is what we did last week, and I do want a 6th block, so here we go, folks. Let's do it up. I didn't plan it. I really didn't plan it. I promise. Okay, block 3. What color are we doing? Here we go. Violet. I like that. Block 3 in violet. How many fabrics can we use? We have a 20-sided die that will tell us from our tray of treasure and the spillovers what we are going to use. And just as a quick point out, what you notice here in this quilt is I used the black fabric. There's actually several different ones in there, but the black fabric is my common, my neutral, my background, like I've been doing this project, but with a series of different colors of my low volume neutrals we call the Groundworks fabrics by Benetech. So kind of a fun change-a-roo on what this quilt led me to making in this quilt. And that's what I love so much about quilting is it's always pushing us, challenging us, and or securing us, supporting us, and keeping us snugly warm. Here we go. Let's see. How many fabrics will we use today, folks? No, 2 is not enough. Let's try that again. 13. I will take it. Lucky number 13. So we are doing block 3, 13 fabrics, color violet. So I'm going to dive right in here, and I want to utilize my lighter version of my violets here today. From that, I have enough fabrics because of the number 13 that I do want to integrate a few more violet fabrics here. So that's 4 of them. And now let's refer to our color wheel, see what we might want to work from. And you know how I love so much that yellow, green, yellow, orange family. And that might fit in nicely with what we've got going on. And let's go into, oh yes, and last week when I was putting some of these away, I noticed I had forgotten about some of my favorites, like this little one right here. So let's see if we can build with that. Got a few more of these squares pre-cut. That's a pretty cool combo. Not as poppy or bright as Impact, but it will look very nice together. Let's see how many fabrics we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Oh, 14, 15. Well, let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of those 2 this week. Set those back in here, and now let's see what we can do as we come back in. Folks, you've heard me talk about for the last several weeks now about really thinking different when you look at these patterns, not in tonality at first, but just simple color families. So as I've been using in the version 2, series 2, I always use my low volume neutral in my white families. So this will be my white fabric today. And then what I really want to do is play with I want to say the green and the purple checkerboard together. So I'm going to make those then my black family, and these will be the gray family here. So that's good. And let's start counting out 21. I remember from last week how many of these half square triangles we need. So these are 3-inch squares, which means if I put down 11 of these, I would yield 22 half square triangles. So we're going to go out 11 right sides up, starting with that purple family, or what I'm seeing now as my whites. So there's 4. And 4 is 8. And 3 more will make our 11 we need for now. Let's pair these up, keeping it random. So every time I've got an opportunity, I'll take a different fabric and match it to the fabrics I was using. There, I don't know if that makes any sense. So here again, different. And these fabrics might be a weird, I might be able to iron that one into a 3-inch square. I'm not sure. Those ones there I can tell aren't quite 3 inches square. So I'll go ahead and save them for my 2.5 inch squares. I think I can get away with this one. I can. Nice. Okay, so those will be the half square triangles we need to make for today. Let's go ahead and get those over nearer the machine. And we'll count out our squares that we need to make down to 2.5 inches. So from that white family, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. So I'll use these 2 up now because we know we need to. And then just setting a square ruler here on the corner, 2.5, 2.5. We're going to trim these down. Set those aside. And then the other squares here, 1 and 3 is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of those will all be from our gold yellow family, the mediums today. So if we need 9 of those, All right, I believe this will give us 9 here. Okay, so that should give us what we need to work with today, fabrics-wise. Let's go ahead and clean up just a little bit and make our half square triangles. If you've never done this before, let's do it right today. We'll go ahead and take a ruler, mark us a line down the diagonal while our two fabrics are right sides together. This is a very common way to yield out 2 of the 2.5-inch half square triangles. But note, I'm going to use my seam tape here in a moment to just keep myself going as I chain piece these all together. So following that line or that corner there like it was running around that black line there. Maybe I should put that seam tape on my website. robappell.com is where you can get all of the exciting stuff that we are pumped up about. Shirts, there's a link there, the spinners, the fabrics, the patterns, all the great stuff. Scrapmaster downloads, those are free. There's a series 1 and a series 2. And as soon as we finish out the series 2 quilt, I will make a new series 3 pattern and we will just start all over again. Once I get to the end, I'm literally just going to rotate this and swing them around. Hard to see today. Sorry about the choice of threads. Now I'm again just following the other stitching along the edge of that foot, the bottom corner. And we're going to do a second side. And I think while I'm sewing right now, it's pretty much exciting time to get into the grateful list because we're about ready to cut these off and trim them. And we'll go ahead and do that today while we discuss the things I am so thankful for. And as a reminder, it's always a great thing, I think, for all of us to do each and every day, to think about what we are thankful for. And of course, sewing is obviously one of those, but this week on the grateful list, I'm pretty excited actually to get to present this quilt. And I'm very thankful that I finished it in time to film this out and shoot this out. So yes, the Black Magic, I think that's what I'm going to call this quilt. It has been so much fun to integrate what I've been learning and teaching and doing and the fabrics and everything. So by far that makes the #1 on the grateful list this week, the Black Magic quilt. I am super, super excited about that. And it's really fun to have it here. I think I will put the other quilt back up for the next few weeks, finish out the series for continuity. And I think we're just going to redress the set with this continually. Okay. Real quick, let you know what I'm going to do here while we keep talking. I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to separate all of my half square triangles or all of my squares into 2 half square triangles to be, these still need trimmed into 2.5-inch squared. Okay, so #2 on the grateful list. Last week, we were so excited to launch the New Year's Day mystery quilt along information, everything over on robappell.com. Yes, we did find a typo or 2. We have slowed things down to do complete full testing. We have all kinds of proofing going on. We want to make sure that the next series of documents that go out are perfect. So there is no reason to sign up or no need to sign up for anything. I'm not taking your emails because we won't be emailing anything. The video will be New Year's Day live right here on So Well with Rob Appell. So simply subscribe to the channel now and we'll keep you posted as things go. All the information is free, downloadable at robappell.com. And so that's also real easy to deal with. Soup recipe is there right now. And very soon, if not at the moment, is reposting the new series of the instructions, including clues. This year, we're going to have 5 clues, which will make it really fun. A little bit of pre-prep work. Folks, make no assumptions. You know how good we are at mystery quilts. So yes, we might have you doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that. But don't assume that you know that means anything about what's happening next. So anyways, really excited. Item #2 on the grateful list is the overwhelming support, huge purchasing sales on the kits. Thank you so very, very much. That was really incredible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Just feeling super blessed. Real quick, I'm going to take my slotted trimmer, put it on the thread, and we're going to use this to trim down 2 edges at a time like this to make our half square triangles. I'm just manually dog-earing the edges, and I'll do all of this, and then I'll press these here in a few minutes. So pretty exciting. Like I said, that is that New Year's. Pretty jazzed up about that. There are shirts available also at robappell.com. There's the link for the Team Tiffany Passion for Precision or the Team Rob Appell Carefree Quilter shirts, and you will get those shipped basically right away. We're doing some really fun, ridiculously overpriced sticker sheets, and that's just a fun way of you getting a few stickers, but also supporting us financially, because these productions are actually not cheap to put on, folks, and we are super excited to be doing it. Of course, the kit sales also help that, so thank you. That'll feed us for a while, funny enough. And so just super blessed. Now, last week we had sub-adventure for item number 3. This week it is adventure. Life is an adventure, item number 3 on the grateful list today. And I feel like I have been so blessed living an adventure, and I feel like so many things have gone so well recently. And no, I do not need to knock on wood, folks, because as a believer, I know the Lord has asked me to just be positive and do the best I can each and every day. And so I feel very excited to look at life as an adventure and just do my best each day to make it positive, make it fun, fill others' buckets around me, and just make it very enjoyable to be able to bless others. And so thank you, Lord, for giving me this crazy energy and this wonderful audience and community to work within. It's super exciting. And so, yes, the adventure continues. I am in the middle of traveling. The Quilt show is going on right this moment in Reno. And so this was obviously a pre-record so I could get both things done at the same time. And so I will have a full post on the adventure. But it was quite a week of getting all of the data put in, like I said, for all the kit sales, the productions, that kind of stuff for New Year's Day. And also getting ready to go out in my vehicle, which I love, going to a old man's birthday party and coming home to have another old man. That's right, the Birdman's flying in, and it's going to be super cool. So super blessed, super thankful, and fortunate to have all of you. Our community over at the Facebook group, So Well Rob Appell, invites you. We'd like to have you join us over there as well. We're keeping everybody posted on what's going on with Scrap Masters, and also adding the New Year's event there. There's also a New Year's Day Mystery Quilt Facebook group with several thousand members. We'd encourage you to join as well, so we can keep everybody posted there. Okay, let me finish trimming these up and press them, and we'll get back to our design here in just a moment. All right, pressing to the purple, mostly because I like the way it sounds, but it is all one direction and technically to the darker side this time. As a reminder, let's bring our instructions back in today's block pattern. And our purples are the white family, so they're going to be pointing towards me. And as a reminder from last week, I kind of like to build the darker purple area here out to the lighter. So I'll kind of look at that as I lay them in. It's 6 across and 6 down. So that one seems kind of heavy and dark. I don't want the same exact ones next to each other. And so they're going to point down this way. And that's a good start. I'm starting to build my blocks closer to the machine a little bit for me also, so that I can start to web these together. I sure like that feature. I think it works really good. Okay, there's my 6 by 6. That helps a little bit. Okay, I like that. And we again have that extra one from the number count. And then as we come in, our orange fabrics or the grays are going to fill in these spaces. So I like to do this next as I go through. And the green fabrics, again, kind of thinking darker on the edges. The golds again. Okay. And as I spot check this, I kind of feel like things are a little bit predictable. Like those two are next to each other, those two are next to each other, those two are next to each other, that's next to each other. So I want to do a little bit more mixing around, a little more scrambling about. There. That feels a little more random, a little more scrappy. You can see it's not crazy as bright as last week's block, right? But a very similar feel. Can help it blend onto the wall. I think that's going to be pretty neat as well. So let's go ahead and now start to put these together, I'm going to lock in my 1/4 inch seam allowance or any kind of way to keep a nice consistent seam allowance going on here. I like that edge guide for myself. And then I'm going to start at the top of the column. That's the key to this, folding those fabrics over right sides together. And I'm going to work my way down the 2 columns, chain piecing as I go. And as I come to this bottom of the squares, I'm going to cut my threads but leave everything intact. And I'm just going to come right back up to the top. I'm going to flop this one over. And this is a great block to practice this on because of the way that all of the fabrics are facing the same directions. So again, I'll bring this over. From the 3rd column now, I'll lay it in, and I'm just going to begin chain piecing again all the way down, adding in the pieces from column 3 here onto the group I've built. Okay, terrific. Now that we've got all of the columns webbed together, I'm just going to take a moment, take these apart here and open them up and make sure I've got a checkerboard happening. All of my purples are facing me right now. Looks good. Then I'm going to go ahead and begin folding over and finger pressing, no ironing yet. And I'm going to just make sure that all of the seam allowances face in the same direction. So on this series, I'm going to sew with the top seam facing down. This will help me get organized for the rest of the sewing of all of these sections. And this is a very efficient method. And so you can take the time to wiggle these seams because they're actually helping set them on the other side as you go. Just be cautious not to catch any of the extra parts underneath as you continue to sew. There's a lot going on. So now I'm going to try to face this upper seam up. In each of the sections. Continuing now just to alternate the seams as I go through to facilitate nice crisp points. Carefree style. So now after I've done the first 3 stitches, columns of stitches, I'm going to flip this just to have the work kind of stay up and out of the way. Keep nesting those seams and finish this out. Okay, folks, here we have it. Let's hit it with the iron here. Have a good look. I don't know if there's any really method now to pressing it because of the nesting or the webbing, but this sure looks nice and crisp if you ask me. Hit it with a little bit of moisture, and I'm really excited about now having 6 of these block 3s to work with. Block 3, color violet, 13 fabrics, pretty awesome. Oh, I should rotate it so it matches the pattern we have here to work from. I think that thing is pretty cool, folks. And like I said, it's going to give me a lot of opportunities to play with this design and shape. Several weeks ago, I laid them out in a stripe, and if I can get enough of these, that might be the way it works out. Again, pointing out on the back how fun it is to space things out with some of that extra background, and we'll see what happens as these all come together. It's been terrific to have you joining me here this week. Thank you so much again for being a scrap master and supporting my channel here. Thank you for subscribing. Make sure, like I said, you are part of that Facebook group. You're posting your blocks on Scrap Masters. I'll have to put up some show and tell real soon. And thank you for signing up. Well, excuse me, there is no sign up, but thank you for joining us in advance for the New Year's Day Mystery Quilt Along. Thank you for buying your kits. Those of you who have, those of you who have not, they are actually going quite quickly, and we do have to limit them. So you might want to check out robappell.com. Till then, folks, make sure you're keeping those hands busy. Have a blessed weekend. I will see you real soon. Thanks again for being here. Please stay well.